Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Vimo Live. This is a live stream slash podcast that happens every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. and every Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Today is Saturday, September 24th, and we are doing our weekend stream. Hello to everyone. If you are here right now in the live chat, say hi and ask your questions, or click on the link and come on screen to talk. If you are listening to this in the audio format at a later point of time, you're probably doing it on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Ghana.com, JioSavan, etc. And if you are doing that, please find a way to either review the show or give it a high rating so that it's uh, more discoverable to people because of all the many algorithms that govern the fate of podcasts. Speaking of podcasts, earlier this week I was on Meghnad's podcast and we were talking about atheism. Also was Masoom Rajwani with us, and we talked about it. Was a good conversation. If you have not seen it, please go to Meghnad's channel, which is Explain Like I Am 10. If you search on YouTube for Explain Like I Am 10, you'll find the channel and then you will find the video and then you'll watch it, I hope. In addition to that, I did a collaboration with Science is Dope YouTube channel by Pranav Radhakrishnan on rationality and science. And that video is like the video with me in it is available on his channel, and the video with him in it is available on my channel. We also recorded an off the cuff random conversation for some reason. I still don't know why. And that is scheduled for my YouTube channel tomorrow morning, Sunday at 9 a.m. You can just go to youtube.com/Vimo and subscribe to it in order to be notified when that video goes up. Click the bell icon. Do click the bell icon. I'll also remind everyone that if you want to support this channel, you can do so by clicking the join button below and becoming a member of it. Your contributions are appreciated. You can also send a super chat if you don't want to become a member. So, yeah, that is the introduction part. I already have a couple of people here waiting. I at least have one person here waiting on the audio video thing. Wait exactly 5 minutes or 2 minutes. Let me go through a few comments. Nazu is here. Hi, Nazu. Diamond Amar says on hijab issue, many right wing or conservatives are saying if freedom of choice is paramount, then why not allow sati or allow nudist people? What is your view? Sati actually murders people, and nudism is allowed in many places. This is a stupid comparison. When we say that people have freedom of choice, we obviously mean that their freedom of choice should not get in the way of someone else doing something, which is why we oppose the hijab when someone is forced to wear it, like in Iran. A beautiful thing is happening in Iran where women are saying that we will wear what we want. And in India, women are saying we will wear what we want. That is the commonality. It's not two different things. Nazdeen says sati is an act of violence against oneself and was not always a voluntary thing. Okay. Peaceful Nook says, you keeping up with the news of the minister that committed suicide today in Odisha? No, I have not. I have not. Uh, Diamond Amar says, what should be the extent of freedom of choice and its various dimensions, since everything, be it hijab or sati or theism, is a product of social conditioning? Is anything truly free choice? This is again a ridiculous extension of the logic. We are talking about people's right to choose what makes them happy. We are not talking about people's right to choose to make other people unhappy or kill them. It's a ridiculous comparison. Alex says, acting in accordance with the Constitution of India is the best way. When the Constitution is right, sure. Ajay says, I watched the podcast with Meghdan and loved it. Thanks, Ajay. Much appreciated. Sridhar, thank you for the 20 rupee super chat. Much appreciated. And now I will take on callers. We have Arbaz here. Hi,
Hey,
Arbaz.
hey, hey. Hi, how are you doing?
Good, good. क्या चल रहा है?
ठीक मेरा आपको एंटी नेटलिज्म के बारे में पता
Anti?
है? नेटलिज्म,
हाँ.
उस पे आपका ओपिनियन जानना है.
उसके ऊपर मेरा ओपिनियन है कि it's unsustainable. Like it doesn't make much sense on a practical level to me.
So, do you think life is not that miserable?
I
कि
think
हम
I think whether or not life is miserable is to be decided by the person who is living the life. You and I
yeah
cannot create
that
a philosophy based on which we will try to prevent future misery, because that always leads to disaster.
So do you think judging life is always subjective, right?
Yeah.
So procreation, according to you, is not immoral.
No, I do not think procreation in and of itself is immoral, because it is entirely possible. Like, no parents are having sex and wanting to have children. Almost no parents. I won't say no because that's an absolute. But I don't think when people are trying to have babies, they're thinking, I am about to bring a child into this world and there will be no suffering in it. I think everyone knows that there is going to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
suffering in life, right?
There is inevitable
But there
suffering,
is
yes.
also going to be hope and light and happiness in life. So
Well-being too.
when people try to bring a baby into this world, they're thinking, okay, there will be unhappiness, but I will protect my child. And they're
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
and I hope that my child is more happy than I am,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
एंड जो बच्चा भी होता है वो भी ये नहीं सोचता कि मैं पैदा ही क्यों हुआ था, वो सफरिंग को ऐसे नहीं लेता कि मैं पैदा ही क्यों हो गया था, जिंदगी में
नहीं,
सफरिंग है और मेरे माँ बाप।
कुछ लोग ऐसा सोचते हैं कि
वो
लाइफ
एक्सट्रीम
इज,
सफरिंग में तो सोचते हैं,
हाँ, एक्सट्रीम नहीं,
बट
कुछ लोग,
यूजुअली
like some people are born with, like, we have had so many discourses about mental health. We have had discourses about we have had discourses about how people don't want to exist, and all that is fine. But in all those
या
cases, people get to make that decision themselves, right?
themselves, yes.
Yeah, that is what I'm talking about. I will just take a small break to thank Meghnad for the 420 420 rupees ka super chat. He says big fan, sir. Thank you, Meghnad. Thanks a lot.
बस मेरा तो
But
यही
yeah,
क्वेश्चन था।
Harbaz. Okay,
हाँ,
cool,
मुझे
cool,
बस पता चल गया आपका ओपिनियन। ओके, बाय।
cool. Thanks. Bye bye. Next, I have someone who's called Anonymous. Hi, Anonymous.
Hey, hi. Am I audible?
Hi. Your audio sounds like it's a little low. Can you? Is there any way you can increase it?
One second. Uh,
Come closer to the mic, maybe.
now is it fine?
Yeah.
All right. So I see. I actually recently found your channel, and you
Okay.
talk about atheism, right? Atheism, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you do not believe in any superpower or anything, sort of God, anything like that, I guess.
I think I leave that to the people who do believe. So if you do believe in a supernatural entity, tell me what that belief is and we can talk about it.
But do you believe it or not, or you are someone who just is like agnostic, someone like agnostic
I'm an
who
agnostic
believes in?
atheist. It means, I'll tell you what it means. An agnostic
Yeah,
atheist means I do not know, right? I do not know if there is
wonderful,
anything supernatural, and therefore I
wonderful.
do not believe it.
That's fine. See, second line uh, doesn't
If I don't
necessarily
know something,
follow.
why will I believe it? Right.
That's fine, okay. But
Hmm.
what actually I was expecting you at least that you at least accept the line that I do not. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely. I think I don't know, and I don't know anyone who does know. My problem with religious people often is that they claim to know
mhm.
that which they do not know, and that is dishonest in my opinion.
How do you say that the religious people? Let's say I am. Let's say in my case, I'm a
Hmm.
devotee, right? Devotee of one of the deities of Hinduism. How do you
Okay.
know that I'm not sure about existence of God? Like when you say,
I don't know if you're not sure. You tell me what you believe, and I'll tell you. What do you believe, and how do you know that?
yeah, sure. See, the thing is, as far as I am concerned, I'm a devotee of Lord Krishna, right?
Okay.
So
Hmm.
I believe in the words of Bhagavad Gita as it is the word. I consider Bhagavad Gita as the the topmost book, at least for me, from my perspective.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Bhagavad Gita, right? Because Krishna is the supreme deity. That's my personal view. That's
According
it,
to you,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So see, the thing is, what I'm saying is now the reason why I say that I know that he exists is because, see, you can only know that he exists when you surrender towards him, right?
When you
In the sense that when you
wait, wait,
surrender
wait,
to
wait.
him,
Repeat that sentence.
you see, you will only know that he exists if you are honestly surrendered to him. In the
Yeah,
sense
that's
that
what
what I mean,
that's what the Gita says, right? Sarva dharmani parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja.
exactly,
Surrender,
exactly, yeah.
abandon all duty and surrender unto me. That's what he says. Hello, hello. सर आपका ऑडियो गायब हो गया पूरी तरह से। एसी का बैकग्राउंड साउंड भी नहीं आ रहा है। हेलो। Okay, I'll wait for Anonymous to come back. Until then, I'll just put him on mute. Anonymous, if your system is not working or anything, maybe log out and then come back. Okay, I'm having trouble even muting him. So I'll remove him. Let's see. We have Maharshi Kala Billa. बोलिए सर और मैडम जो भी हैं आप। हेलो। What is happening? Like, is my audio? Hold on. Let me just check my audio. Maybe it's my problem. No, my audio is fine. Is this a StreamYard thing? महर्षि काला बिल्ला अपने आप को लॉग आउट करके फिर से बोलेंगे? मतलब मैं आपको निकाल रहा हूँ, फिर से वापस आइए, मैं ले लूँगा अगर ऑडियो काम कर रहा होगा तो। लेट मी ट्राई विद सेक्युलर ह्यूमनिस्ट। Secular humanist? Yeah, I
Hi,
can see
hi,
you and
Vimo.
hear you. Yeah.
Hi, Vimo. How are you doing?
Good, good. What's up?
So I just stumbled upon your channel very recently, and it's still a small platform that I can get to share
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope you grow and become much bigger, but
Thanks, man.
there are
Thank
a
you.
lot of these big platforms that you don't get a chance. It's such a rush when you try to get to talk to people there.
Correct.
So we don't have any topic, that specific topic we are discussing, right?
No, it's just I'm just taking calls. But hold on, let me just thank Out of Context for the 100 rupee super chat. Binge watched your YouTube shorts. Keep making more and more. Love them. Thank you, Out of Context. Thank you so much. Go on.
Yeah. So just wanted to talk a little bit about my journey out of religion,
Okay.
and how at certain points there are always these people in everyone's life that want to somehow take you in a direction where there's something there, in that direction. Try to keep changing your belief system, basically. So the first place where I realized that, okay, I am I don't believe in a god was when in school I used to pray after giving an exam, and my marks were always the same as what I was supposed to get. My prayers didn't do anything, right? So
Okay.
that was the first time I realized, okay, maybe there's something more to this. And I'm an ADHD person. I had a lot
Okay.
of learning difficulties and all that.
Okay.
So when I was in school, I had a lot of memory issues, recalling things that I've studied, and so my mother, again, well intentioned, but the thing that she did was she took me to this pandit or someone, and they taught me a shloka that'll help me with my memory. And I remember the shloka, but I don't remember what I studied back then. So I still have that shloka imprinted into my brain,
Okay.
something that I can probably never forget. And so
What was it?
somehow Jnanandamayam Devam Nirmalas Padikakritam Adaram Sarva Vidyanam Hayakiva Upasmahe.
Okay.
Something like that.
I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
recognize
know
that
what it
one.
means.
Okay.
Anyway, so didn't help me with my learning issues, but somehow went on with life, did masters and all. So anyway, all with my own effort, no prayers needed. And slowly, after a while, I found myself in spirituality, where I felt that all this meditation, there's something higher power, something in the universe, and stuff like that. And I identified myself as, okay, I am an agnostic atheist back in, say, 2012, 13 or so, about 10 years ago. And started getting exposed to ex-Muslim channels. A lot of ex-Muslim channels started coming out, back then. And I used to live in Dubai back then. Right now, I'm back in Bangalore. But back then I was in Dubai, and I started getting exposed to that and started realizing, okay, a lot of these
Try
things.
to avoid mentioning any personal details, location, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just a
Okay.
general rule. I'm like, if you're comfortable with it, I have no problem with it. But as a general rule, I try to discourage people from mentioning any personal details.
Right. Okay. So
And also,
yeah.
Ajay, thank you for the 400 rupees ka super chat, and Vatsal, thank you for the $6 99 का super chat. Much appreciated, guys. हाँ, go on.
Yeah. So from the ex-Muslim channels, I started realizing, okay, there must be stuff that even a Hinduism, like the religion that I was born into, has. So started digging into some more Indian channels like Human with Science, Science Journey, Rational
Yeah.
World. So these are all Hindi channels, and I'm not very comfortable speaking in Hindi. And a lot of the research that they do with history and scriptures are not something that I can easily understand. It
Hmm.
takes a lot of effort, and especially being an ADHD person, reading itself is a difficult thing for me.
Okay. Okay.
If I read two lines, it takes me 3 to 4 times to really understand
All right.
what I've read, right? So basically, the focus issue, not
Hmm.
able to focus on what I'm reading. Right? So I want to do something about like read these scriptures, try to understand what they're saying. I try to listen to a lot of audiobooks because that's more comfortable for me. I like getting information
Yeah, a
through
lot of people
audio.
who have trouble reading find that audiobooks are a good way out.
Yeah, so I listen
Yeah.
to Ambedkar and Bhagat Singh. So some like also uh, try to get some Vedas information. But these days, what you can see is that they are all so toned down. They have been
Hmm.
they've realized that okay, these are all some crazy things that are there in our scriptures, and we have to tone it down as per times. And for example, the Bhagavad Gita that we get from ISKCON today is, I think, such a toned down version of what actually
Not only
it's about.
toned down, it's practically overwritten. Like there is so much commentary that the actual text is buried under pages and pages of opinions of some guy who I don't know why I will agree with because I'm not him. The best way to
Yeah.
read a religious scripture is to read it, right?
Right, right. So, also looking at a lot of the Indian history that they discuss on these channels, Science with Human with Science and Science Journey, there is no archaeological evidence for anything that the Indian scriptures talk about. There's a lot of time difference when it comes to how old Sanskrit is and the Vedic Yug and all that. So started piecing all these things together, and how
Hmm.
the caste system was. In fact, the Bhagavad Gita and the war that happened,
Mahabharata war.
Mahabharata, was to
Hmm.
protect the varnas. Was
You
to
could
what to
say that.
protect, right?
I
So
don't know if I'll be able to comment much on that because Krishna was a Yadav, and the position of Yadavs in today's society is not really Savarna, although they are land holding uh, backward castes, I suppose. So, but anyway, proceed.
yeah, so all of these scriptures and all the later Dayanand Saraswati books that came, they've all just focused on maintaining the caste discrimination so that
Hmm.
a certain class of people can rule the rest of them. And it's sort of become a mission for me to educate underprivileged people, whatever, how much ever I can do. So I'm trying to work with local children's homes, orphanages,
Okay.
or underprivileged schools for underprivileged
Okay.
children. So just so that I can help them out, whatever I know. I mean, till high school, I can probably teach anything, and
Hmm.
that will be a stepping stone. So I just encourage anyone, and it's also very difficult. I first, when I try to start teaching or training kids, it was difficult to find. I just, first thing I realized was, okay, there is a maid that's working, comes home to work. Now her kids, her niece, nephews, and her relatives, their kids, let me try to work there, but they didn't show any interest.
Hmm.
They don't feel that it is something that extra help, extra tutorials is going to help them. So I didn't get much of response. I kept asking, like, just start weekly once, weekly twice, whatever. Just get the kids in your area,
Yeah.
talk to people, tell them there's somebody that's there to teach. They're
Then
not
what happened?
keen on doing that. So I approached an
Acha.
NGO to, you know, go and start training over there. So
Hmm.
this is something
Has
uh,
that happened?
that yeah, yeah. So no,
Okay.
the kids are already there in the children's homes. So we, going and interacting with them and training them. So
Okay.
that's
Okay.
something that works well. So,
Shri,
but still, it's
Shri,
sorry.
I have five people waiting. So can
Sure.
you
Yeah, yeah.
wrap this up
I
in
think
the
I'm
next
done.
one
I
minute?
think I'm done.
Cool.
I just wanted to say that it's been a great journey, and it's great to be on a platform where I'll probably join again with some more serious
Absolutely.
things. It's just the
Sure.
first time
Sure.
I'm joining, so just a overview,
Intro.
right? Okay. Thanks, Vimo. All the
Cool.
best.
Cool. Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Right now, I will take back Anonymous, who has come back. Hi. Are you the
Yeah,
same
hi.
Anonymous?
Actually, yeah, I'm the same. Actually, I had some connection issues. That's why I dropped
Okay.
out. I do not know
Cool.
why.
So
Yeah,
you were telling me that you can only
yeah.
know Krishna once you surrender to him, right?
Let me expound. I actually forgot the question. What was it? Can you just frame it
The
again?
question was, what do you believe and why? And you said you believe in Krishna as the supreme
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
And then you
Exactly.
said that you can only know Krishna once you surrender to him.
Yeah, yeah. Let me expound on that. Let me just give
Don't
two or
take too
three
much
lines
time
of details.
expounding, but I want to ask you a question about that method.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
think
sure,
that's a
sure.
good,
Then go ahead.
do you think that's a good method to surrender in order to know?
Not surrender. I would say you have to be selflessly devoted. In the sense that, like say, the previous brother, the
So
brother which
let
came,
me
he
tell you
was
this.
mentioning
Let me
that.
tell you this.
Yeah, yeah,
Someone
yeah.
comes from another religion and says that my
Yeah,
God is the supreme God, and you
yeah.
say, how do I know that God is the supreme God? And they say you have to be selflessly devoted to them in order to know that they are the supreme God. Would you believe them? Would you do it?
No, I won't. See, the very first question which you asked me, that how do I, whether I will see, I won't ask him this question, that how do I know your God is true? Because I know that anyhow they are worshipping Krishna only. Because Krishna, if you have studied the Gita, then you must know
Hmm.
this, that Krishna mentions in the Gita that whichever divine form, whichever form a devotee seeks to worship, I make his or her faith steady towards it. You get it?
Then why are
In
you attached
whichever
to the
way,
word Krishna? Then why are you attached to the word Krishna?
not the word, but the Lord Krishna, like the personality Krishna, not the word.
But you're still, it's a whole lot of symbols, isn't it? The Bhagavad Gita, the word Krishna, the religion Hinduism, I'm guessing. So wouldn't it be better to abandon all of this, as the Bhagavad Gita says, and accept? By the way, would you accept that Islam is true and Christianity is true?
Obviously, see, the problem is you are actually confusing the Abrahamic concept with the Dharma. See, the thing is, let me answer you this. Nothing is
No,
false.
I'm saying
Neither
I'm
Islam. No, no. Islam
forget about
is
Abrahamic. Forget about Abrahamic. I'm saying
yeah,
imagine a fake religion, right? A fake
yeah,
religion
yeah,
where
yeah.
someone says my God is the creator of the universe, and the only way to know for sure that he does exist is to surrender to him completely. Would you do it? Forget Islam and Christianity. Would you do this?
See, no, I would ask him for first of all details, like why did he create this world? What are the different philosophies? What are the the core philosophy? Or if it matches my intellect, if it
Okay, so
satisfies
let me
my
ask you
intellect,
that
then I
then.
would be
Let me
yeah,
ask you, why did Krishna
yeah.
create this universe?
Well, according to the lineage that I follow,
According to
the
the
answer is lineage that I follow, the acharyas in the lineage. I actually
okay.
follow Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So there the acharya says that
So my
actually the soul was eternal.
I'll let you finish, but I just want to point out that you, despite saying that Krishna is not bound to any symbol or any tradition or any form, you have brought in plenty of form to this conversation. There is a Gaudiya tradition that you follow. You have a lineage of gurus. You have Krishna. So it's not really as free of symbolism as you seem to think. I think, no.
No, you actually no. I never said that Krishna is not bound by symbol. I said I follow the Krishna, the personality of Krishna, right? The person Krishna I
How do
follow.
you know it's a
You
person?
understand?
How do you know it's a person? A
No,
person
I
is a
never
very
said
human
that.
construct, isn't it?
I mean, in the idea, like, see, our speech, our mind cannot describe the divine entity. I'm using person just to interact with you. The form of Krishna that I worship, not the word.
So
They
you're
were
saying
also
that
worship
this
the word.
God, you're saying this God is formless, right?
No, the form. I believe in the form wala God.
Then
Also,
then how
see,
is it?
God can exist in
You're
both
saying
fields.
God does
Both.
not have form, then you're saying God has form. You see the contradiction here. That's what my problem
No,
is.
why? See, the thing is that you thinking like, see, us as a human, we cannot exist in both forms because we are limited. Why do you think God cannot exist in both the forms simultaneously?
I don't even know if God does exist. Forget
That
forms.
is the
I'm
question.
saying
So
I'm not
let us
talking
first
about
debate
any
on
of that.
this.
I'm talking about you contradicting yourself. You're saying Krishna is not
What?
bound to any form, and then you are
I never
saying you
said
are
that. I
attached.
never say. I never say. I never said that Krishna is not bound to any form. I just said that I worship the person, that image that you see, right? I worship that image, that person Krishna, that form Krishna, that form of Krishna. You get it?
So
What
you
I say?
do so your God does have form, and you do think that this God has form.
Both form and formless. You cannot limit, but just by saying that only form.
If
That
someone
will be
has form,
limitation.
how are they formless? Is it the case that they are formless by default, but they are able to acquire different forms, and one of those forms is what you worship?
No, simultaneously it exists in both the forms, form and formless. So the
How?
form
How?
is, listen,
How?
listen to me.
How is that
Yeah, I'm
possible to
saying it.
have to be
I'm,
formless
I'm,
and
I'm
have form at the same time?
the problem with is that is why I'm saying that your human mind, we are all humans, we cannot comprehend it. But yet I'm explaining to you.
You
Just
are
listen to me.
you are a human mind, na? You are clearly
We
able to
are, we are all.
comprehend it. Listen,
No,
you are a
see, I'm
human
never.
mind. You are able to comprehend Krishna as form and formless at the same time.
I never said completely comprehend. I said maybe just little, but I never said completely. Why do you not think like that? I never said I can completely comprehend
Because
Krishna.
I have a
I never
problem
said
with
that.
ambiguity. It seems like you are getting away
Why?
by claiming two contradictory things in one statement,
What?
and I have
What?
a problem with it. Obviously, you're saying that his form
What?
and form with form and without form at the same time. How is that possible?
Let me explain you. Let me explain you. Now listen to me.
Okay.
See, from our, yeah, just give me 1 minute. See, the thing is, the form wala.
Hmm.
See,
Hmm.
little my English is little weak, so
That's okay. Go
the
for it. Huh.
yeah. So the form thing, the Krishna in the form, we say he exists also, but in the formless, we call it Brahman, like the Brahman, the light emanating from Krishna's personality body. We say in the body of Vaishnava tradition, we call the light. It is like a light, what is it called? English word, emitting from the Krishna, the
Do you
formless,
think
which
light
holds the
is
universe.
formless? Do you think light is
See, it,
formless?
it, it, it is just an analogy. You do not have to go deep dive into the physics of light. Just an analogy to
So
explain, because
hold
our
on.
mind cannot comprehend.
Hold on. Are you saying that all of this is metaphorical and this is not actually a description of anything physical or with form?
Nobody can describe what exactly it is, but in order to make sense in our human mind, we use analogies and then we are explaining.
So this is
Just as, let's
metaphorical
say,
then.
sun.
So this is metaphorical.
Yeah, yeah. Let's say I'm giving you an example. See, sun is a form, right? Sun is a form, and there is
Yeah.
sun rays, which pervades,
Hmm.
right? There is sun rays,
Hmm.
sunlight. So
Yeah. So
that
you're
light
being
we,
metaphorical. This is all poetic language
yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
But
Cool.
exact, because no one can explain. Yeah. So God exists in both form and forms. So let's come back to the same point.
Again,
But
hold on. You can't
yeah,
say form and formless in every second sentence and not expect me to question it. Because when you say form, you are breaking away from the previous statement that you made where you said this is metaphorical. If there is form, how do you know there is form?
I have said you. What does metaphorical mean? I mean, see, I'm
Metaphorical
see in
means using words and symbols to describe something that cannot be described.
yeah, that, see, if it cannot be
But
described, it
forms
doesn't mean that
but
it doesn't
forms
exist,
can be
right?
forms can be described.
The form is described, like Krishna. How does he look? He holds a flute. We have described it, right? Nobody can completely describe Lord. Like, what are his mysteries? But at least we can
How do
go
you
to a
know?
certain level in
My
describing.
question is,
Yeah, yeah,
is there any actual method that you are following in order to know this? How do you know all
yeah,
of
yeah.
this?
Sure. Yeah. I'm saying, thank you. I was actually answering this only why I joined. See, the thing
Okay, go
is,
on.
the first thing is, yeah. Thing is, firstly, as I said, you have to be selfless devoted. Like the previous brother came, he was saying that
I
I pray to
disagree
the
with
God
that.
for
I disagree with that because selfless devotion is an argument Islamists and Christians and Buddhists and everyone can give, and it is not a
no. But
foundation
what
for
is the
anything.
selfless? See, what is the meaning of selfless? Let me expound on that. When I say selfless devotion, it simply means, from my experience, I'm saying. Thing
Hmm.
is, you have to first thing is, I might sound little off logic, but let me say you this. You decide whether it's logical or not. The first thing is you have to keep Krishna as your first priority, right?
Why?
That is the first thing. No, let me
Again,
say you now.
you're repeating things that I've heard 10,000 times before, sir. I can let you a platform and you can talk about it for 1 hour, but you're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
going to
yeah, yeah,
change my
sure.
mind with this. You can,
Okay,
you
okay,
can,
yeah.
you
What is
can.
your question?
My question is, if your method is that I say,
Yes.
how do you know God? You say you have to surrender to find out. Then that method can
No,
be
no, no,
applied
no.
by anyone.
Okay, you are asking about sadhana, the spiritual practice which I do. Is it that which you ask?
I'm asking, how do you know that God exists?
Because of certain
Do you know?
experiences which he, yeah, because of the certain experiences which happen. See, if let me clear this, there are certain, when you are devoted selflessly to the Lord, in the sense that you cry out for the Lord in the separation. This is very illogical when you think like you are crying for something. When you cry out from your own heart for Krishna, that please give me devotion. I mean, please, do you understand? Like bhakta and Lord
Okay,
relationship. If you
so
cry
so
out
let me
loud,
create a scenario here. You
yeah.
decided to surrender yourself completely to Krishna. You did sadhana, and you came to the conclusion that Krishna exists, right?
No, why? Because there were certain experiences which happened in my life. He will
Huh, so
make
those
sure once you
tell me
cry.
about an experience.
Yeah.
Tell me about one of those experiences.
See, the thing is, how do I say? There are see, so these experiences are something which are very intimately too connected to us. I do not want to share those things because I generally share these stories and these connections with those people who can understand. I do not want to share. See, at max, what I see, you obviously do not share your stuffs, what happens inside your family, with other people, right? I consider Krishna as my topmost priority. I will never share
Is
these
there,
things. I can at least say, yeah,
listen. Is
yeah,
there anything that you can share? Because if there isn't, there is no point talking.
yeah. I am saying you
Because
this.
otherwise, it's just, you realize, right? I'm not trying to be impolite. Otherwise, if you don't share your experiences or your evidence, it's just you saying things and expecting me to believe it, and I cannot do that.
Yeah, let me say this. That's why I say that.
So
The reason why
are
I
you
came
able
here,
to? Can you share anything at all?
see how can I can explain you the gravity of the situation in which I was when he helped me out. That I can never explain you. How much those
You
things,
don't
those
have to give me.
feelings, how
You
much
don't
was.
have to give me. You don't have to give me details. You don't have to tell me what situation you were in. You can just say, I was in a situation and then I experienced this. Is that okay?
Yeah, fine. See, let's say I said, let's say sometimes it is like, let's say, because I'm a devotee of the Lord. Sometimes it happens that I want to visit a dham, right? Somehow, my God, one second, what phone is coming? Yeah. Sometimes, let's say I want to go to a pilgrimage place. Let's say. So it doesn't matter how what's it called in English. Doesn't matter how difficult it is for me. It somehow gets managed. Like whether it will be my mother will say, okay, let's go to a
Okay.
dham. My
Okay, so I
this
got your point, anonymous. I got your point.
yeah,
So
yeah,
let me say
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let me spare you the trouble of
This
having
is
to
one
share
of
your
the.
experience.
This is
Let me
one of the.
create
This is
a
one of the. Yeah,
got it.
yeah,
Let me create a fictional scenario and you tell me if
yeah,
this maps adequately to what you're saying. You
yeah, yeah, sure.
suppose it's a hypothetical person, it's not you. And they were going through a hardship in life and they prayed and then that hardship went away and therefore they came to the conclusion that their prayer had worked. Is that something resembling what you're about to say?
Prayed for what? Prayed to remove the obstacle?
Played to solve the problem? Yeah, yeah.
Well, then I would highly doubt it. I never prayed for anything like that. I just used to, like, let's say, see, I never asked Krishna for give me marks, give me money like the previous, but give me, arrange me to go to Dham. I just feel it and it happens. That's it. I never pray to anything to Krishna. Do you understand that?
Okay.
When you say,
So
yeah.
here's the thing. Can you describe what you feel?
Okay, what do I feel in the sense what, like right now, like when I do
You
when
no
I
no no not now. The feeling that you were just talking about where you said ki I just feel it and it happens. So when you said you
yeah,
felt
yeah,
something, what was it that you
yeah,
felt?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just felt the separation from the Dham. Let's say it was just in the heart that it has been long time that I have not visited the Dham, I have not seen Krishna. Then I become emotional that I like that. So somehow it gets again. My mother or father will come and then they will say, okay, let's go, let us go for refreshing, and then we will go to Dham, Mayapur Dham or Jagannath Puri, anywhere else. Somehow
Okay.
it manages. Yeah. So I never asked for Krishna that okay, please give me money
Then
like that.
how do
I
you
have
know
to
it was
go.
him? My point is, you have clearly
Yeah,
established
yeah,
a
yeah.
causal link, right? This thing happened, and because of this, this thing
Mhm.
happened, right?
Yeah.
How do you know
No,
that this
because
caused this?
yeah, because see, the thing is you are confusing because I only said you one instance. There are many. See, see, I feel I face a lot of challenges. Right? Let's say
Okay,
I sit
ठीक
for
है. Let
10
us
years.
assume there are
There
five
are
instances. How do you
yeah,
establish
yeah.
that these five instances caused this? How did you come to that
Because many
conclusion?
because many a times there have been situations like see, I say you this gravity of situation. I can never say you that you will feel yourself. See, these
Okay,
things can
anonymous,
never be explained.
anonymous,
Yeah,
anonymous, anonymous. I don't think we are
yeah,
getting
yeah, yeah.
anywhere with this. We're not getting
No, no.
anywhere with
Let
this.
see.
No, no, no.
I wanted to
I
make
have
one
I
line.
have
I
six
just
other
wanted to
people
make
waiting. I have six other people
just
waiting. I can't
brother,
continue this
listen to
more.
me. Brother, just listen. Just last
You
line,
have
just
one
let
more.
me
You
allow.
have one more minute. One more minute. Bolo.
Okay, देखो भाई, let me say you this. What I wanted to say is, देखो life to जी लियो. You have lived this life. Just devote 6 months. Let's say 6 months, 8 months. Just do a sadhana. Just try to do it. Just honestly do it. Just please, keep Krishna as your pride. Just try it out. This experiment. Just try it out. Let's see what happens. If
How
listen to me.
about
Just listen,
how
listen.
about 10 years? Why 6 months? How about 10 years? I've already done it. My nephew is in the chat
What's
right now. My nephew is in the
yeah,
chat right now. He will tell
yeah,
you how
yeah.
big a believer in God I used to be. But it didn't
Okay,
work
so
out.
let me ask you, what was the sadhana you did?
No, it wasn't a sadhana. I believed in God. Do you think God requires a procedure in order to answer questions?
See, just believing in God won't happen. Now you have to cry for it. You have to cry for
Yeah,
it.
भैया हो
You have
गया
to shed
तुम्हारा हो गया
tears.
हो गया. This argument
But
that
देखो,
you are, I am the holder of the true secrets to how to do it, and everyone else does not know it, and anyone who does
brother,
not
you can
think
just
like
try
I
it
am
out.
thinking. No,
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 I
no.
have
I'm
tried
just
it,
not
sir.
saying.
I have tried it. I have
Yeah,
tried other religions also, by the way, which you have
yeah.
not. So don't bullshit me on this. Anyway,
The
nice
thing is,
talking to you. Nice talking to you, man. I have to move on to the next caller now. Bye bye.
okay, okay, fine, yeah.
This was, if I go by logical fallacy, this would be no true Scotsman. He has experienced some things, and he thinks that something has happened in his life as a result of those experiences, and he has built a causal link between these two when there is no reason to do so. If I get a fever today, I can blame what I ate last night. I can blame what I ate a week ago. I have no way of knowing what exactly caused it unless there is evidence to suggest, okay, yeah, you ate this shit, and that's why this shit is happening. There is no way to establish a causal link between a feeling and an actual happening in the world. So all you are really doing is deluding yourself into thinking that I have faith in this God. This God must exist. I love this God. And therefore, this good thing that happened in my life must happen because of this God. It's self delusion, it's fooling yourself. If you need a if you actually want to prove that God could do something for you as a result of a feeling or a prayer or anything it could be, then you will need to probably do a double blind test, right? And I bet you're not paying attention to all the times you felt something and something did not happen as a result. You're only paying attention to the things that worked out. So suppose I wish for a burger every day for a year, and at the end of the year I get a burger. I think I wished for a burger and I got a burger. But I'm not thinking about all the times when I did wish for a burger and I did not get a burger. I am biased in favor of a positive outcome because I believe that my thoughts have power. I think that is what is happening here. uh, Next is another gentleman who has come back, Maharshi Kala Billa. Boliye sir.
Hello, sir. Is the audio fine
Ji.
now?
Audio is wonderful. Thank you so much. Boliye.
Thank you so much, sir. So, I'm a student and I'm not here to debate or anything like that, but I'm just here
Okay.
to clear some of my doubts.
Okay.
So, like, let me go from this. So, I'm a 12th class student, so I'm pass out of 12th.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my interests in religion and all that thing. And I used to ask curiously to all my parents and like why Kartikeya has six heads, why Brahmaji has four heads, and all those stories and doubts about that. At starting they felt that I'm a bit curious and isko entertain karna chahiye. He should become
Mm-hmm.
religious.
हुँ।
बट आफ्टर अ पॉइंट उनको लगने लगा कि यार ये कुछ ज़्यादा ही हो रहा है अब बस करना चाहिए।
दिमाग चाट रहा है।
हाँ, अब तो दिमाग चाट रहा है। तो उन्होंने सीधा कह दिया कि यार उन्होंने सीधा कह दिया कि इसके बारे में ज़्यादा मत सोच तू। बस एंड दे वर प्रीटी लिबरल अबाउट दिस कि ज़्यादा सोच मत तू, जितना कहा है उतना कर और नहीं करना है तो मत कर। So
हुँ,
that was the point when I later on in fifth, sixth class there was a speech competition
हुँ।
where I had subconsciously or consciously, I don't know, I don't remember it clearly, but I chose the topic to be Daborkar. He was
Okay. Yeah. The rationalist who
yeah,
got yeah.
yeah, he got murdered. So that was my
Yeah.
topic, and I then researched about it. I asked my father. He also gave me some points and all. And then I was just going through my, and you know how the fifth, sixth class debate and speeches go, right? Parents give you the written speeches, and then you mug up and just vomit it out in front of the stage.
हुँ,
So,
हुँ।
but I was going through this speech which my father gave to me. He's a theist, but he has now when I go back to it, it was a pretty logical speech. So I
Yeah.
read it and I found out, yeah, this man makes sense.
हुँ, हुँ।
And that was a journey. I started not believing in God and believing in atheism. And later on when I
Well,
went to
there
the
is no
speech
such thing as
competition,
believing in atheism, by the way. You just
yeah,
lose
no,
faith in religion and you automatically become an atheist.
yeah, but that's a better way to say that, right?
No, it
Yes.
it it creates confusion because religious
Mhm.
people are already intent on thinking that atheism is some kind of religion. So we should not
Yeah.
say I believe in atheism. We should say
Mhm.
we lack belief in God.
That's true.
Even using the word atheist is not important. Just saying that I lack belief in religious mythology is
True, true.
sufficient.
Yeah, later on, I found out that the speech competition, that topic was scraped out due to controversial things
Oh,
and all. Yeah, so that was a pretty fucked up thing. Yeah,
yeah, that's a
and
weird thing.
yeah, later on in tenth class, the teacher gave us some project about that. The theme of the project was that every religion teaches humanity,
Hmm.
and then he gave every child a religion, and then asked to give the 5 points or the 5 parameters on which the religion is based upon, or five
Hmm.
stories which you find interesting. So I took the
Hmm.
topic Islam. I don't know why. And then I found out, and then a full show was there. Everyone was going on Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism,
Hmm.
Hinduism, Christianity, and then it was my turn, Islam. I quoted few good points which I thought brotherhood and all that things which my
Hmm.
Islamic friends told me, and
Hmm.
then I quoted the marriage of Zainab and Muhammad,
Hmm.
which was Zainab. For context, Zainab was the daughter-in-law of Muhammad, which he later married.
Okay.
I thought that how a godman can do that thing, and I quoted it in front of the class.
Hmm.
And then I quoted some shlokas from Manusmriti, which I found controversial.
Okay.
The
Then
teacher
what happened?
suddenly, made me sit down and then be quiet, be quiet. That's not the
Wait,
point. That's not the
your
point.
teacher only asked you to sit down when you quoted from the Manusmriti and not the
No,
thing
no,
about
no, not
Zainab?
that thing. Not that thing.
Overall, they just
Yeah,
wanted you
overall,
to sit
overall.
down. Okay.
Yeah. So like I started with the good points, good point, good point, and I said but, and then I quoted the wrong points about them. And in the middle, he was seeing that I was going in wrong direction. The debate
Hmm.
should not go here, and then he didn't let me conclude the thing.
Hmm.
So that's how the atheism was suppressed over there. But later on in 11th
Yeah,
and
a
12th
lot
class,
of people don't realize this, but there is a natural bias in favor of keeping religious sacrosanct all over the place. Schools, colleges, जहाँ भी you you say 50 तरह की बकवास which is a hateful, or even if it is not hateful, as long as it is religious, people will totally accept it. But the moment you
Mhm.
say something questioning or even saying, "Hey, this is not perfect,"
Hmm.
people will lose their shit and ask you to sit down.
Yeah,
And then if you continue doing it, there'll be like freedom of speech, freedom of speech.
yeah,
Matlab,
yeah, yeah.
we should have the freedom of speech to say our religious thing, but you should not. And if you are
Yeah,
doing it, it is oppression. It's weird.
yes. Yes. So later, fortunately, there was no Muslim guy or
Hold on,
any
hold on.
radical word. Oh, you okay?
Thank you, Ajay Kedar, for the 200 rupee super sticker. And they're asking, can you ask Billaji where did he get the profile picture?
I made it. I made it myself. I took
Oh,
a
okay.
black cat photo and then added Bhasma and Mooch to it.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah, one more. I wanted to ask you: are you Maharashtrian by any chance?
No, I'm not.
Oh, it seemed.
Why?
Like, I thought your accent is somewhat Marathi. That's why.
I'm from Odisha. My name is Vijendra Mohanty. That's what Vemo means.
Oh, your accent seemed Marathi. That's why I asked. Okay, so continuing
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Yeah, so in 11th, 12th, I got into touch with these ex-Muslim channels who were popping out,
Hmm.
and I was in great interest of that thing. So I want to tell you that you go pretty very like very softly. Those ex-Muslim channels go very harsh on those guys.
they have the reason to be angry. See, atheist का ये ना, कुछ लोग gently बोलते हैं, कुछ लोग gently नहीं बोलते हैं. I
Hmm.
personally can't find it in myself to look at someone and say you should not get angry, because then I'm tone policing. Maybe they have
Hmm.
suffered more than I have. Maybe they have a reason for being angry at their former religion. Who am I to tell
Yeah.
them that they should not be angry? I am like this because I'm like this. That's all.
Yes. Yes. So I got into touch with that thing, and then I watched a lot of streams. I was just doing all that things, and I just fucked up my JE preparation, and then I'm repeating right now. But yeah, I spent a
Okay.
lot of time on doing all these things. But later on, I discovered that there are also ex-Hindu channels, which Science Journey and Human with Science.
Oh yeah,
But I
absolutely.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know why I was a bit like मेरे अंदर से एक आवाज आ रही थी कि यार मत देखना यार, क्यों देख रहा है तू? खुद का मजाक उड़वाना है क्या? And at
हाँ,
that
ये
point of
होता है.
time,
I think that is the
yeah.
biggest barrier to cross before
Hmm.
anyone can become a serious critic of religion or even secular thought. The
Hmm.
biggest, like मेरे साथ खुद हुआ था. मैं कल मेघनाथ के पॉडकास्ट पे बोला था कि कल नहीं परसों कि I got my start in atheism as, like, I decided to start calling myself an atheist because I was watching a lot of Western atheist call-in shows like this one,
Hmm.
and they
Hmm.
used to frequently make fun of Islam and Christianity, and I was like, ah, ha, 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 ha. And then one day it occurred to me, does this apply to my religion? And I resisted. And
Yeah.
once I got over that resistance, then it becomes
Hmm.
smooth. And so I think दूसरों का मजाक उड़ाना, दूसरों के धर्म का मजाक उड़ते देख तालियां पीटना, पाकिस्तानी एथिस्ट के चैनल पे जाके हिंदुओं का मजा लेना, ये बहुत नॉर्मल बात है. सब करते हैं.
Yes.
जब जब
Hmm.
मैं हिंदू धर्म के बारे में कुछ बोलता हूँ तो 5-10 मुसलमान भी होते हैं जो तालियां पीटने के लिए जाते हैं. पर
Hmm.
अपने धर्म को क्रिटिसाइज होते देख संभाल लेना, वो ज़्यादा मुश्किल होता है.
सो दैट्स और फिर मैं वही अंदर से आवाज आ रही थी, और तब तक मैंने लाइक भगवत गीता पढ़ रखी थी, और पूरा उपनिषद में पढ़ना शुरू कर रहा था. आई फाइंड इट वेरी
हम्म.
पोएटिक, एंड मेथोलॉजी भी थोड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग लगती है. दैट्स व्हाई आई
हम्म.
रीड इट अ लॉट. प्योरली एथिस्टिक इससे दिखता हूँ कि लाइक रैशनली सोचता हूँ हर एक चीज को कि यार ये
हम्म.
क्यों किया, वो क्यों किया, एंड आई फाइंड कि यार इसमें पोएटिक बढ़िया है ये, लेकिन ऐसा तो नहीं है कि हर टाइम के लिए है. It was written at that point of time, वो बहुत अच्छा हो सकता है, but it's not suitable for right now. Like people say Sanatan means eternal and it's for eternal times. I don't find it correct.
Yeah. I don't think
uh,
anything can be eternal. The universe
yeah,
itself is not eternal. It had a beginning, it will end at some point of time. So how can anything else be eternal?
that's true, that's true. Okay, so
Yeah.
concluding this, let me come to the last question I had. Not
Hmm.
a question, but I am studying about this thing right now. So
Hmm.
as I told you that I failed my JW exams.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I'm
you did.
yeah, yeah. So I'm repeating. I will give again in January. So right now I had seen many of my friends getting into good colleges, getting into bad colleges. So there's
Hmm.
one of my friend who he is SC by caste, but he is pretty rich, and is economically sound and all,
Hmm.
and he still filled his form through SC reservation, and he got freaking 30 marks out of 300,
Hmm.
which is like 10%, and the qualifying marks for general were 50. And people who got enrolled into IITs and all need to have more than 100 marks in advanced exams.
Hmm.
So he got 30 marks, and I asked him that, where are you going? He's like, I'm going for counseling, and the counselor told me that I'll get a good seat at IIT with a lower branch with these marks. And I found it a
Okay.
bit like, यार ये थोड़ा सा ना अजीब हो गया. Then later on I called more of my friends कि यार तुम्हारा क्या चल रहा है, तुम्हारा क्या चल रहा है. There was one more guy, he was also SC or ST, I don't know correctly, but he was from the reservation category. Although I'm also from a reservation category, so I
Hmm.
was also thinking कि मुझे reservation से भरना चाहिए next year, या
Which
फिर मैं open
category, if
से
you
ले
don't
लूँ.
mind me asking?
Yeah, OBC,
Okay.
other backward castes, and central list NT, nomadic
Hmm.
tribes. So I asked other of my friends, and he was like, "Yeah, I got 70 marks." Or like, "Yeah, there's some SC guy who is scoring well, and he's still getting into IIT with the SC reservation. So there is some good use of SC reservation." And then I asked him
Hmm.
that, "Okay, so are you getting good IIT?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm getting good IIT." So you failed through reservation? No, he said that I was given two options to opt for reserved seat or a general seat. So I chose to get a general seat. So I was like, why? And he told me that if I choose to get a general seat, then some other SC guy can get the SC seat which I left. So I was
Hmm.
like, oh, so
Yeah.
that's correct.
I
And
actually
then I
had a
asked,
friend. I
Mhm.
actually had a friend who had similar views about it also. But I suppose at the end of the day, it does turn out to be like, we had a guest some time ago, not a guest, someone who called in. We had a conversation about caste-based
Mhm.
reservation, and they said
Mhm.
कि certain people might lose out on the college of their dreams because of this.
The
And I
Sindhi
was
guy,
like, sorry, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, the
Sindhi
Sindhi,
guy, yeah, yeah, I saw that.
yeah, yeah. That's
I
the
saw
debate
that.
on the main channel. But
Yeah, yeah.
I think at the end of the day, this is not about individual cases. It's a systemic thing
Mhm.
that is in need of being curbed. It's like saying
Mhm.
कि सड़क पे ट्रैफिक लाइट्स हैं इसलिए आज मैं ऑफिस लेट पहुंचा क्योंकि सिग्नल लाल था. Sure, maybe the signal went red at the wrong time for you, but the signal exists for a reason, and that is to solve a much bigger problem, which is the fact that there are so many cars on the road that there is a need for moderation. So reservation in general is a great idea. Maybe sometimes some people will lose out on the college they want, and that's a personal issue. That's an individual level issue, and reservation was not designed to be an individual level solution to those problems.
But like when I started reading about it, that B.R. Ambedkar did it for like particular years, like 10, 12 years.
No, that's a
And
myth.
that's a myth. Oh, I
Yeah.
read it on Quora. There
No,
was some
Quora
open
is
guy.
full of myths. Quora is basically a book of mythology. So don't go by Quora. I तो
Yeah.
जाना भी बंद कर दिया. Quora पे इतने सारे बकवास लिखी जाती है वहाँ पे. Quora पे मत पढ़ो.
Okay.
There are writers who write about scheduled caste matters, scheduled tribe matters. You should read them. On Instagram, I would recommend someone called Ritesh Jyoti. Please read them. And
just do
there are cartoonists also. There are many artists actually from DBA backgrounds. You should make a list of people and then follow them regularly. ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ. कई बार लोग आके पूछा क्या पढ़ूं कि ये सब जानने के लिए. मैं कहता हूँ कि कुछ लोगों को फॉलो करो, उनके ओपिनियंस के प्रति अपने आप को रेगुलरली एक्सपोज करो, चीज़ें इंप्रूव हो जाएगी. बट एनीवे महर्षि, मैं अभी आपको निकालता हूँ यहाँ से क्योंकि यहाँ पे कुछ और लोग हैं जिनको आना है.
Yes, so go on with that. Thank you.
थैंक्स मैन, थैंक यू सो मच.
Okay.
I have Nazu next. Nazu, do you want your webcam on? No? If you want to turn the webcam off, you can do that. Or I will do it. Hold on. Wait, how do I do that? No, I can't do it. You will have to turn your webcam off. It's okay. Show me a thumbs up if you want, if you're okay. Okay, cool. I'll bring you on screen. Hi.
Okay. Hi. Basically, I just wanted to say hello, and
Hi.
also wanted to just. I didn't want to talk about atheism, but I was actually wondering today what your take was on this thing called Bharat Jodo Yatra,
I love
which
it.
is
I think
going
it
on.
happened 3 years ago. I spoke about this in a couple of episodes ago, and I
Okay,
said
Mike.
that Bharat Jodo Yatra should have. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I spoke about this a couple of episodes ago. I think that Rahul Gandhi is having a tremendous impact. Opposition unity is increasing. Lalu
Yeah.
Prasad Yadav went to Delhi today to meet Sonia Gandhi, which I think is so nice. And I think that the Bharat Jodo Yatra should have happened 3 years ago. If Rahul Gandhi had
Yeah.
gotten down on the road and had a yatra in the middle of the anti-CAA protests, it would have helped
Yes.
so much.
Yeah.
It may have helped prevent the BJP doing so many things in the last 2 years. So the Congress should have gotten its act together earlier. But
Earlier.
I am glad that it is doing so right now.
Yeah.
Doing so right now. BJP is under so much pressure that it is having to reach out to Muslims to consolidate its Muslim vote bank. But the RSS head is meeting certain Muslim personalities in order to do whatever they do.
Mhm. Okay. Anyway, are you planning to go and join the yatra when is it going to Bombay? I don't know.
It's not passing through my state.
It's not passing through this
Yeah,
state.
yeah.
They're avoiding some states. Okay, so they're planning to come to Karnataka. So I think I might go ahead and
Okay. Yeah.
see if I can join it. Anyway, I just wanted to say hi, and I wanted to thank you for making this program. And I love it. You're one of the brightest minds I've come across, and I really look forward to all your talks. And I love the way you talk to everybody. Like with you never lose your cool. I'm a big fan, basically. Probably your
Thank you,
oldest
Nazu.
fan, but anyway. So I just wanted to say that, and please keep it up, and hopefully I'll try and get more involved next time and talk about more
Yeah, yeah.
important things. But
Absolutely.
right now, I'm not yet comfortable talking about
Cool.
personal things. So, yeah. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Chalo.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much for coming. Bye. Now I have agnostic Arjun Arya. बोलिए सर.
हेलो.
हेलो.
विमल.
या.
मेरे बारे में तो पहले भी बात हो चुकी है आपके चैनल पर. अर्जुन आर्य आपने अर्पित द्विवेदी जी के साथ जो लाइव किया था आपने.
अच्छा, मुझे याद नहीं.
द्विवेदी.
बहुत दिन पहले था. आप आए थे उस शो पे?
नहीं आया था।
फिर?
पर मैंने देखा था, उसके बाद से मैंने काफी सारे आपके वो भी देखे हैं और उसके पहले भी देखे हैं। तो उसमें आपने मतलब वो बात हुई थी ना कि मतलब अर्जुन आर्य का हृदय परिवर्तन हो गया है, ऐसा कुछ याद है आपको?
नहीं।
अच्छा, नहीं आया। ठीक है। तो उसमें
मतलब
क्या
हमने
मतलब
आपके बारे में बात की
एवोल्यूशन
थी।
के बारे में, हाँ मेरे बारे में, एवोल्यूशन के बारे में जो मैंने वीडियो बनाए थे डिलीट कर दिए थे, आपने कहा था कि दैट्स एन ऑनेस्ट थिंग, ये दिखता नहीं है।
आई
डोंट यू
डोंट रिमेम्बर,
रिमेम्बर?
बट रिफ्रेश माय मेमोरी, क्या हुआ था बताइए फिर से।
हाँ, उसमें ये हुआ था कि मतलब एक कमेंट आया था जिसमें अर्पित द्विवेदी जी से ये पूछा गया था कि अर्जुन आर्य का हृदय परिवर्तन कर दिया है क्या आपने? तो अर्पित द्विवेदी जी ने फिर मेरे बारे में बताया था कि मैंने कुछ समय पहले एवोल्यूशन के ऊपर ऐसे वीडियोस बनाए थे,
हम्म।
और जिसके रिस्पॉन्स में अर्जुन आर्य ने वीडियो बनाए थे। फिर
हम्म।
बाद में मतलब उनको उन्होंने खुद से रिसर्च की और फिर उनको जब सच पता चला तो उन्होंने वीडियो डिलीट कर दिए।
अच्छा अच्छा, हाँ, आई थिंक आई
हाँ
रिमेम्बर नाउ समथिंग लाइक दिस,
हाँ
यस।
हाँ हाँ।
हाँ। अच्छा,
वो,
तो आप वो हैं?
हाँ वही है मतलब।
क्या आपका हृदय
हाँ
परिवर्तन सच में हुआ था या वीडियो गलती से डिलीट
हाँ
हो गई
हाँ,
थी?
सचमुच सचमुच। मतलब
अच्छा,
वो
कूल,
वीडियो,
ग्रेट।
तो उस पे तो मतलब बहुत सारे व्यूज आ गए थे, जबकि मतलब 2,500 के आसपास व्यूज आ गए थे, फिर भी मैंने डिलीट कर दिए थे। और
अच्छा।
मतलब उसके बाद मतलब चैनल भी मैंने अभी बंद ही कर दिया है मेरा, मतलब।
ओके।
और मतलब मैं क्या, रिलीजियस ही था मैं पहले।
हम्म।
रिलीजियस एक मतलब बहुत लंबी स्टोरी है, पर शॉर्ट में मैं बताऊं तो मतलब एक थोड़ा आगे से बताऊं तो एक अभी एक एक मिशन चल रहा है किसे मतलब वैदिक फिजिक्स के नाम से, वैदिक फिजिक्स। सो देयर इज आचार्य अग्निव्रत। ठीक है,
हम्म।
उन्होंने क्या किया है कि उन्होंने एक बुक लिखी है। उसमें उन्होंने क्या है, पूरी एक फिजिक्स निकाली है वेदों के किसी ब्राह्मण ग्रंथ से, ऐत्रेय ब्राह्मण
हम्म।
से।
हम्म।
और वो बुक के ऊपर मतलब
अर्जुन,
मैं
एक मिनट।
मतलब।
अर्जुन, एक मिनट। So
हाँ
let me make something like for convenience. There is after Arjun there is Rajat Verma and then there is Yusuf. और उसके बाद मैं किसी को नहीं ले रहा हूँ क्योंकि अभी और टाइम नहीं होगा उतने लोगों को लेने के लिए। रजत और यूसुफ के बाद आज बंद कर देंगे, सो मैं बाकी लोगों को स्टूडियो से हटा रहा हूँ। आई एम सॉरी अबाउट दिस, बट हम ऑलरेडी 57 मिनट्स पे आ चुके हैं। सो अभी और कोई लिंक पे क्लिक मत करो। इनफैक्ट मैं अगर हो सके तो लिंक को पिन से हटा देता हूँ ताकि कोई और उस पर क्लिक ना कर पाए। Let me give me exactly 20 seconds. अनपिन। ओके, हाँ, हो गया। सो अभी बस अर्जुन है, उसके बाद रजत है, उसके बाद यूसुफ है और उसके बाद आज का शो खत्म कर लेंगे। बोलिए अर्जुन।
हाँ, तो मतलब एक आचार्य अग्निव्रत है, तो उनके अभी
हम्म।
मतलब आप देख सकते हैं यूट्यूब पे 1 आध लाख के ऊपर अभी जा चुके हैं। उन्होंने ही कहा
हम्म।
था कि पानी, आपने देखा था ना वो वीडियो कि H2+O2
इलेक्ट्रोलाइसिस। हाँ
हाँ
हाँ हाँ
हाँ,
हाँ। सो इन केस
वही
एनीवन
आचार्य।
डजंट नो, आई जस्ट क्लैरिफाई। उन्होंने एक वीडियो बनाया था जिसमें कहा था विज्ञान कहता है पानी ऑक्सीजन और हाइड्रोजन से बना है। अगर ये सच है तो विज्ञान ऑक्सीजन और हाइड्रोजन का हवा से निकाल के पानी बना के दुनिया भर की पानी की प्रॉब्लम्स क्यों नहीं सॉल्व करता है? और इसके ऊपर अर्पित जी ने एक वीडियो बनाया था। हाँ, कहिए।
तो ऐसे ही ब्लंडर्स उन्होंने पहले भी किए हैं, तो ऐसे ही मतलब मैं पहले उन्हीं को फॉलो करता था। लेकिन
अच्छा।
अर्पित द्विवेदी जी का जब वीडियो आया एवोल्यूशन पर, थोड़ा तो
हुँ।
फिर मैं शुरू शुरू में तो थोड़ा वही एग्रेसिव, थोड़ा मतलब अच्छा नहीं लगा कि यार मतलब वो मतलब रिलीजियस उस टाइम पर था मैं तो, कि यार ये कैसे ऐसे बोल सकते हैं एवोल्यूशन के बारे में। मुझे लगा कि मतलब आचार्य जी इतने बड़े हैं, ये है, तो सही बोला होगा उन्होंने। फिर धीरे
हुँ।
धीरे मतलब मैंने खुद से रियलाइज करा कि चलिए फिर ठीक है, फिर मैंने ये सोचा, अपने माइंड को ये समझा लिया कि ठीक है, एवोल्यूशन के इसमें ये आचार्य जी ने ब्लंडर करा है, लेकिन फिजिक्स उनका सही है, उनका मेन सब्जेक्ट तो फिजिक्स ही था।
हुँ।
तो फिर धीरे धीरे फिर फिजिक्स की फाइल चैनल देखा चंद्र प्रकाश का, फिर धीरे धीरे फिजिक्स में भी समझ में आया कि यहाँ भी ब्लंडर ही है। तो धीरे धीरे
हुँ।
फिर और ये H2O वाला जब ब्लंडर था, तो इससे पहले ही मैं छोड़ चुका था उनको, लेकिन फिर ये देखा तो
अच्छा।
फिर मैं मतलब ये किस लेवल पर ये कह रहे हैं कि पूरी फिजिक्स जो ब्रांच है ये पूरी रिप्लेस करने की बात कर रहे हैं। पूरी मतलब ये जो 100 साल तक फिजिक्स जो नहीं कर पाएगा वो इन्होंने कर दिया, ऐसी बातें कर रहे हैं।
हाँ।
और उसके मतलब ये किस लेवल पर है, पता नहीं क्या है।
ये सब मोस्टली झूठ होता है वैसे। असल में वो लोग
हाँ
करना ना चाहते हैं, ना कर पाएँगे ऑब्वियसली। क्योंकि जो फिज़िक्स का साइंटिफिक जो कंसेंसस है दुनिया भर का, वो पिछले कई 100 सालों से इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग हो चुका है कि कुछ चीज़ों को तो अब डिनाय किया ही नहीं जा सकता। ये लोग बस बड़ी-बड़ी बातें करते हैं ताकि उनके चेलों को लगे कि अरे वाह! गुरुजी ने क्या बड़ी बात कर दी। सो
हाँ,
मोस्टली ये बोलने वाली बात है, उसमें और कुछ होता नहीं है।
हाँ। उस टाइम पर मुझे मुझे कुछ लिटिल फिजिक्स मुझे आती थी, तो मुझे
हुँ,
लगा कि हाँ, मतलब इनके क्वेश्चन तो ठीक है कि व्हाट इज टाइम, व्हाट इज स्पेस, ये तो मैं भी आंसर नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ। मुझे
हुँ।
लगा कि हाँ, ये अच्छा आदमी, लेकिन फिर धीरे धीरे समझ में आया कि मेरे नॉलेज का गैप जो है उसका ये लाभ उठा रहे हैं और कुछ नहीं है। अगर मैं आगे फिजिक्स में पढ़ूंगा तो मुझे भी खुद आंसर मिलते जाएंगे जो क्वेश्चन
हाँ, एग्ज़ैक्टली।
इन्होंने
व्हाट
उठाए।
इज़ टाइम, व्हाट इज़ स्पेस इसके बारे में तो हमको अब पता है, काफ़ी हद तक पता है।
व्हाट इज मास, व्हाट इज चार्ज। तो
या
इस हाँ, तो फिर क्या हुआ, मतलब ठीक है, फिर उनको तो मैंने छोड़ दिया, बट टुडे आई एम रैशनल, बट आई एम वेरी क्रिटिकल अबाउट साइंस जर्नी। मतलब उनकी भी काफी अभी बातें हुई है यहाँ पर,
हुँ,
तो
हुँ।
उनके बारे में भी थोड़ा सा बताना चाहता हूँ, साइंस जर्नी। तो साइंस
हाँ।
जर्नी इज मतलब एक उनका क्या है, मतलब पहली चीज तो साइंस जर्नी है, तो साइंस के का काफी वो बताते हैं कि साइंस टेम्पर होना चाहिए, और साइंस के बारे में काफी वो बोलते रहते हैं कि हमें साइंस टेम्पर को अपनाना चाहिए। तो वो मुझे ठीक लगा, उस पर मैं उनकी तारीफ भी करता हूँ कि हाँ, ये अच्छी बात है। लेकिन
हुँ,
साइंटिफिक टेम्परामेंट का मतलब होता है कि साइंटिफिक मेथड जो है उसको हमें एक्सेप्ट करना है, दैट इज द गोल। तो
हुँ,
यहाँ पर वो मतलब एक लैक है कि भाई उन्होंने अभी, जैसे आपके यहाँ पर अभी बात भी हुई थी कि मतलब अभी थोड़ी देर पहले कि उन्होंने हिस्ट्री के ऊपर वीडियोस बनाए हैं, वैदिक हिस्ट्री के ऊपर, रामायण के ऊपर। तो
हुँ।
उसमें उनका क्या कहना है पता है? उनका कहना है कि वेदास जो है वो 500 साल पुराना है। सो
आपको नहीं लगता कि वेदास 500 साल पुराने हो सकते हैं?
नहीं नहीं, मैंने पढ़ा है हिस्ट्री के बारे में। मैं आप
हुँ।
मेन एकेडमिक जो हिस्टोरियंस है, अब जैसे साइंस है वैसा ही हिस्ट्री भी होती है। साइंस जो एक फील्ड ऑफ नॉलेज है उसमें रिसर्च
देखिए,
पेपर।
मैं एक चीज़ कहता हूँ, सुनिए, सुनिए, मैं एक चीज़ कहता हूँ। मैं साइंस जर्नी के बहुत सारे वीडियोज़ को मैंने देखा नहीं है। मैं
हम्म
उनके ओपिनियंस से बहुत ज़्यादा अवगत नहीं हूँ, पर जो
हम्म
मैंने देखा है, मुझे उनके चैनल पे कोई ख़ास प्रॉब्लम लगी नहीं है। क्योंकि
हम्म
हमको ऐसी बहुत सारी चीज़ों के बारे में बहुत सारी चीज़ें बताई जाती हैं, जैसे हज़ारों साल पुरानी मूर्तियाँ वग़ैरह-वग़ैरह, जो कि
हम्म
असल में उतनी पुरानी नहीं है जितनी कि असल में लोग सोचते हैं। अगर आप
हम्म
चाहें तो आप दूसरे सोर्सेज़ से भी ये चेक कर सकते हैं, जो हिस्टोरियंस का जो कंसेंसस है, कोई चीज़
हम्म
कितनी पुरानी है वग़ैरह-वग़ैरह में, आप पाएँगे कि भारत में एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम से पहले
हम्म
मूर्तियाँ नहीं थी। आर्किटेक्चर का ज्ञान
हम्म।
कहीं और से आया था। ग्रीक आर्किटेक्चर के नॉलेज से
Yes,
मिल के हमारे बहुत सारे
मैंने
टेम्पल्स
उसके
बनी
बारे
हैं।
में काफी पढ़ा है हिस्ट्री, इसीलिए मैंने मतलब ये जब मिथ एकदम बहुत ज्यादा, मतलब शुरू में तो मैं रिलीजियस था तब भी मैं उनको क्रिटिसाइज करता था, लेकिन जब मैं रैशनल बना तब
हुँ,
मतलब मैंने हिस्ट्री का तो काफी अध्ययन करा है, तो मुझे इतना तो क्लियर था कि साइंस जर्नी जो है हिस्ट्री के क्षेत्र में मिथ फैला रहा है। लेकिन साइंस का ये जो इन्होंने कहा है कि साइंस है, उन्होंने पुष्पक एक उस पर भी, विमान शास्त्र पर भी उन्होंने वीडियो बनाया था, वो मुझे अब सही लगता है, पहले मुझे वो गलत लगता था। लेकिन अब मैं रैशनल हूँ तो मुझे वो सही लगता है कि हाँ, विमान
अच्छा।
शास्त्र जैसी कोई चीज नहीं
सो
होती है विमान।
सो बेसिकली आपने साइंस जर्नी के चैनल को देखा, आपको उनकी कुछ चीज़ें सही लगी और कुछ चीज़ें गलत लगी। दैट्स व्हाट
हाँ,
यू आर सेइंग।
यस,
गुड।
दैट इज मतलब कि सूडो।
आई थिंक आपको चिंता होनी शुरू होनी तब होनी चाहिए जब आप कोई चैनल देखें और आपको उस चैनल से कोई भी प्रॉब्लम ना हो। क्योंकि थोड़ी बहुत प्रॉब्लम तो होनी चाहिए। और
होनी।
मैं इस बात को आगे बढ़ाना नहीं चाहता, क्योंकि आप जो भी कहेंगे मैं उसका जवाब नहीं दे पाऊँगा, क्योंकि मुझे नहीं पता उन्होंने क्या कहा था और मुझे नहीं
ओके
पता कि उनका ओपिनियन क्या है। सो विदाउट नोइंग हिज़ साइड आई कैन नॉट कमेंट ऑन दिस।
ओके। नहीं, मैं ये कमेंट भी आपसे ये एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहा हूँ कि आप कुछ कमेंट करें। मैं तो बस
हुँ।
ऐसे ही जनरल, मतलब मैं, आप लोग चाहे तो जो लोग मुझे देख रहे हैं, कोई लोग, कुछ लोग जो मुझसे डिसएग्री कर रहे हैं, वो खुद सर्च कर सकते हैं ना कि वेदास कितने पुराने,
ओह
रिसर्च
या!
पेपर पढ़
मैं तो
सकते हैं।
सबको एनकरेज करूँगा कि जितनी ज़्यादा किताबें पढ़ सकते हो पढ़ो। चाहे वो
हाँ,
किताबें ही क्यों ना हो जो कि तुम्हें लगता है कि बुरी किताबें हैं। पर पढ़ो, ताकि जब किसी के साथ बात कर रहे हो तो कम से कम अपने पोज़ीशन को ढंग से रिप्रेज़ेंट कर पाओगे। सो ऑन दैट आई डोंट डिसएग्री विथ यू।
मैं वही कह रहा हूँ। रिसर्च पेपर मतलब साइंटिफिक मेथड जो है वो क्या है, ऑब्जर्वेशन है उसमें, हमारा प्रेडिक्शन है,
हिस्ट्री के
एक्सपेरिमेंटल।
मामले में साइंटिफिक मेथड इतना काम नहीं आता, क्योंकि हिस्ट्री में ऑब्जर्व करने के लिए जो एविडेंस होता है वो कई बार मतलब
हम्म
उसको इंटरप्रेट करना पड़ता है लिंग्विस्टिक एविडेंस के ज़रिए, जेनेटिक एविडेंस के ज़रिए और कुछ और तरीकों से।
हम्म।
या
हाँ, लेकिन
और
बट
कई बार
आप।
ऑब्फस्केशन भी होता है। हम जिस चीज़ को हिस्टोरिकल मानते हैं, वो हिस्टोरिकल नहीं होती है, वो मतलब मनगढ़ंत चीज़ होती है जिसको हमको बाद में बताया गया होता है। सो कई बार उस चीज़ का भी ध्यान रखना पड़ता है।
या आई कंप्लीटली एग्री ऑन दैट, बट आप, हम जो है किसी हिस्टोरियन से बेटर तो हिस्ट्री नहीं जान सकते ना। वी आर नॉट हिस्टोरियन, मतलब जो एकेडमिक जो हिस्टोरियंस है, जो वो हिस्ट्री बता रहे हैं, उससे हम बेटर जान सकते हैं क्या? ऐसा तो हो ही नहीं सकता। वो डेटा जो उन्होंने एनालाइज करा
गॉट
है,
इट, या
हाँ, उन्होंने जो रिसर्च पेपर लिखे, हमें स्टिक होना चाहिए उसके ऊपर, अपने ओपिनियन देने चाहिए, या फिर अपनी पीएचडी करनी चाहिए हिस्ट्री में, फिर अपना कुछ
आपने
रखना
ये
चाहिए।
बातें साइंस जर्नी के चैनल पे रखी हैं?
मतलब वो रखने ही नहीं देते, उन्होंने म्यूट कर दिया। और मतलब यही प्रॉब्लम आती है, म्यूट कर देते हैं। मतलब उनके जितने भी डिबेट्स है आप देखिए, अब मैं उनके बारे में और खिलाफ बोलूंगा तो आपको लगेगा
नहीं, नहीं,
कि यार
खिलाफ
मतलब।
तो मत बोल। मैं यही कहना चाहता हूँ कि चूँकि मैं उनके ओपिनियन से अवगत नहीं हूँ और आपको
हाँ,
उनके ओपिनियन
ये
से
ये
प्रॉब्लम है, ये बेहतर रहेगा कि अगर आप बात उनसे या उनके चैनल के देखने वालों के साथ करें।
बट
और
ये
मैं
प्रॉब्लम
इतनी
ये है
ज़्यादा
कि
वीडियो
वो
देखी नहीं है
म्यूट
उनकी।
कर देते हैं। जैसे यहाँ पर मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, वैसे वहां बात नहीं कर सकता। आप देख सकते हैं, सारी डिबेट्स उनकी, जितने रिलीजियस इवन जो लोग करते हैं या जो भी है,
येस,
सब।
गॉट इट। मे बी ही डज़, मे बी ही डज़न्ट। अगेन, मैं उनके ओपिनियंस के बारे में ज़्यादा जानता नहीं, इसलिए मैं इस बातचीत को यहाँ पे ख़त्म करना चाहूँगा।
ठीक है।
और ये
और
बात मैं सिर्फ साइंस जर्नी के लिए नहीं कह रहा हूँ। कल परसों किसी ने, कोई 2 यूट्यूबर्स के बारे में झगड़े हो रहे थे। मैं कोशिश करता हूँ कि इस चैनल पे मैं दूसरे इंटरनेट पर्सनैलिटीज़ के बारे में बातचीत ना करूँ, फिर तो वो ड्रामा बन जाता है। कोई उनके चैनल पे जाके मेरे बारे में कुछ बोलेगा, फिर मैं उसको सुनूँगा, फिर
हाँ,
मैं अपने चैनल पे उसकी प्रतिक्रिया दूँगा, फिर वो आके इसको देखेंगे,
तो
एंड इट नेवर एंड्स। सो मैं उसको
हाँ,
अवॉइड करना चाहता हूँ।
तो मैं यहाँ
कूल?
पर जो प्रॉब्लम डिस्कस करना चाह रहा हूँ, वो साइंस जर्नी को भी छोड़ देते हैं, वो तो। मैं यहाँ जो डिस्कस करना चाह रहा हूँ वो ये है कि द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ सूडो नॉलेज, नॉट सूडो साइंस। सूडो
हुँ,
नॉलेज यानी कि साइंस, सूडो साइंस तो हम देखते ही है। जो हिंदू नेशनलिस्ट है वो तो मतलब काफी टाइम से कर रहे हैं कि भाई ये मतलब बहुत सारा सूडो साइंस है। एक तो और एक चीज है सूडो हिस्ट्री, मतलब एक
हुँ।
वैमानिक का शास्त्र है। ये सारे सूडो साइंस हो गए आयुर्वेद के
अरे
उसमें।
वही नहीं, स्यूडो साइंस है, स्यूडो हिस्ट्री है, स्यूडो फिलॉसफी भी है। इंटरनेट पे
हाँ,
कितने लोग अपने आप को फिलॉसफर बोलते फिरते हैं, जिनको
हाँ,
धेले भर का
तो
ज्ञान नहीं होता।
हाँ, मैं यही चाहता हूँ कि जो हमारे एथिस्ट है, मैंने उनको भी मतलब जब मैंने ये बातें बताई तो आई थिंक मतलब यहाँ पर भी कुछ एथिस्ट है तो एक ग्रुपिंग के ऊपर मतलब उनका रहता है कि भाई हम जो एथिस्ट है उससे एक ग्रुप, हम एक ग्रुप बना लेंगे एथिस्ट। तो आई मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हमें ये काम नहीं करना है, हमें यहाँ सच के लिए लड़ना है। हम यहाँ ग्रुप बनाने नहीं आए कि अच्छा ये एथिस्ट है, मैं भी
ग्रुप्स का
एथिस्ट
तो
हूँ,
सर ये है कि
तो
हम लोग,
भी
जो
है,
इंसान है वो ट्राइबल एनिमल होता है, ग्रुप अपने आप बन जाते हैं।
बन जाते
और
हैं।
उसके उसको लेके कुछ खास किया नहीं जा सकता। बट
हाँ,
आई हैव 2 मोर पीपल एंड आई हैव लेस देन हाफ एन आवर टू गेट टू देम। सो
ओके,
कैन आई एंड दिस विथ योर परमिशन?
या ठीक है।
थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू जी। नेक्स्ट इज़ रजत। हाय रजत।
Hello, can you hear me?
हाय। येस, थैंक यू फॉर वेटिंग
Um,
सो लॉन्ग मैन।
yeah, thanks. So I've been listening to your podcast for a long time now.
ओके,
Very influential, very helpful.
थैंक यू।
There are a couple of things I agree with most of your points, and I really appreciate your styles.
या क्विकली गेट
However,
टू व्हाट यू डिसएग्री विथ।
what's that?
क्विकली गेट टू व्हाट यू डिसएग्री विथ।
So three things. Two things actually. One of the things is you mentioned in some of your podcasts that being apolitical counts as a political action.
बीइंग एपॉलिटिकल, यस।
Yeah, being apolitical.
या
And I was trying to wrap my head around that. Like how is that the case?
कैन यू डिफाइन बीइंग एपॉलिटिकल टू मी?
Right. So my understanding is if there is something going on, let's say in our CCA protests going on, and I am trying to evade all of those conversations, at least not conversations with participation, for selfish reasons, such as I don't care. Even though I might care, but I'm not, too much. I'm not willing to put the effort to go out there and protest. Now, I had the understanding that you consider that as being apolitical, and
या
therefore it's harmful. Like,
डू यू थिंक इफ यू डिड गो टू द प्रोटेस्ट you could make something positive, you could bring about change?
might be, yeah.
If you're not going to the protest, are you not preventing that from happening?
Yeah, I agree with that. But my point is, should the lack of an action be defined or be termed as an action?
Not always, no. But in times of desperate need, yes. Like if your village is being attacked by monsters and everyone has decided that you have to fight, we have to fight, otherwise we all die. And you then at that point of time don't do anything. You either sit at home or you leave the village for a vacation. you are then actively contributing to the destruction of the village, and it may even be argued that you're on the side of the monsters.
So that's fine. What I don't do or do leads to certain actions. That's perfectly fine. But should that be termed in a political action?
Yeah,
I'm talking about the
because
terminology.
yeah, it is political, right? It will have political consequences. I'm not saying so it. Let me maybe rephrase it so that it makes you more comfortable. I would not say that being apolitical is political action. I'm saying that you being apolitical will have political consequences, and therefore it should be seen as political action.
Okay, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Now I got it. My second question is about your statement, which was found very interesting. Which is, you said capitalism does not lead to innovation,
Hmm.
and you talked at length about it.
Hmm.
But I was trying to figure out how can we put this phrase, this sentence, in a more testable way. For example, what do we mean by innovation that can be tested? The absence or presence of innovation can be tested in a capitalistic environment.
Have you heard of Apple deliberately making devices that break after a certain duration of time?
I've heard that on your podcast. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there are even older examples and many examples. Like there are examples about how on what's the science channel? Smarter Every Day? No, Veritasium. Have you heard of Veritasium?
Yeah.
So on Veritasium, there was this episode about the thumbnail says an actual conspiracy theory. It's about light bulbs, about how the makers of the light bulbs had. You've seen that video?
Yeah. And I've also heard the same statement not only on your channel but also on other platforms.
Yeah. So the idea is that if a company's primary motivation is profit, then they will not be as innovative as they can be, because the actual innovation would be to make bulbs that last really long or to build phones that are really sturdy and don't break after a year. But they consciously don't do that. Consciously. I'm not even saying they're incapable of making innovation. I'm saying they're consciously acting against the interests of innovation in order to have profits. That's
So
what I was saying.
the question is, how do we even test this idea that innovation can be is not governed by or is not
You
promoted
test
in
it
a
by simple.
capitalist?
Is it possible to make phones that don't break in a year?
What's that?
Is it possible to make phones that don't break in a year, or light bulbs that last longer than those bulbs in that video?
Yes.
There it is. It is possible to do a thing. They're consciously not doing it. Doing the thing is genuine innovation because it creates an upgraded product, a better experience, a thing that lasts. Isn't that a thing that lasts and works and is sturdy is better than a thing that is weaker, right?
So you are talking about something that they're actively pushing back on, right?
Yes, and that
But
is the
my
opposite of
question is,
innovation.
yeah, but my point is, we do see a lot of innovation. So let's say we have two events. We have in the past few hundred years, or at least past few decades, we have seen a lot of innovation. Correct?
Yeah,
A lot of
but
innovation.
how much of that has been done by capitalists?
Exactly, how do we even know that? So I have to, that's why I'm pointing out 2 points. So we have a lot of innovation going on, and I'm particularly reading a lot of machine learning stuff, and I'm seeing that almost all of the content, almost nearly all of the major innovations are taking place at companies like Google and Facebook. Now that's not to say that this is the companies are actually doing it, because they are hiring people who are smart enough to do all of that research, but they are providing an environment that would provide that is able to provide for innovation. And in
No,
that
they're
sense,
creating an environment where they will hire smart people to do what they want done. These very same smart people could be working on things other than what they are working at this corporation, had they not been worried about their salaries. The internet was created in a government laboratory. It was not created to make profit. It was created to be a communication tool. CERN lab, right? CERN,
yeah, yeah.
right? So when a capitalist's endeavor, like, the pharma industry is a great example. There are medicines being created by scientists employed by corporation, and that is innovation. But that innovation is being done for the sake of profit, and there are pharmaceutical company reps who have said that our cancer medicine, life-saving cancer medicine, is not for people who can't afford it.
Yeah. So the thing is, we do see two events happening side by side. They are correlated, definitely correlated, which is a lot of growth in innovation, at least in the tech sector, technology sector, and mm, a lot of these things happening in capitalistic, heavily capitalistic environments, like very market-free environments. Now, one could argue that these might not be related, but if we do see that, how do we, once again, how do we test that idea? If we do see a lot of correlation, one could simply fit in, simply a linear
You
model,
could,
whatever
I
model.
think, a good way of testing the idea would be, here's how much innovation a capitalistic environment made, and here is how much innovation a non-capitalistic environment, communist, socialist, leftist, Jobico, made. But we don't have significant, like a lot of money in the world is centered in capitalist places, and therefore we don't have a nice frame of reference where we can compare the two. What we can do is look at all the innovation that is being prevented from happening. The coal lobby, for example, is preventing solar power from becoming mainstream, and there are other examples also.
So my point is, in the absence of evidence, in the absence of a framework that we can use to compare, can we make the claim that capitalism does not lead or prevents innovation? Because I see many examples, hundreds of examples where capitalism leads to innovation, and you're referring to
Listen,
many examples that it prevents innovation. So we are,
I'm not saying a capitalistically minded person cannot innovate, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying capitalism on a scale as wide as it exists right now has been demonstrably shown to hinder innovation. And
okay.
if you don't think that is something we should pay attention to, that is a different matter. But you have to imagine that maybe I'm not even talking about replacing capitalism with communism. Maybe there are people who are talking about something like ethical capitalism. I don't know what the fuck that means even. But maybe we at least can get to the point where we say that this right now is not in the best interests of a society which desperately needs innovation in sectors which might very well prove to be the things that save humanity in the coming century,
Yeah, and you
right?
mentioned there's been demonstrable evidence that it
The
does
light
not.
bulbs and the iPhones and examples like that.
But those are not I mean, they are demonstrable, but
Yeah.
I can also say the same thing for all of the innovation, all the machine learning innovations, all of the, the phones, all of these things. These all,
Again, the phones were made of components that were not created at any corporation. The internet was
so
not
they
created at
were
any corporation.
many of them were actually, and I'm looking at, so the thing I can most closely relate to, I'm talking
Hmm.
about specifically artificial intelligence, machine learning, because that's what I'm closely involved, right? And I can very clearly see like a lot of innovation, like most of the things, even free open many free and open source programs are promoted by, are developed at Google, Microsoft, all of these things. So my point is, we do see a lot of examples in favor, and we do see a lot of examples against that. But in the absence of a framework and an evidence, how can we make the claim that it does not lead to innovation, or it hinders innovation? Can this be claimed? Or are we just safe
Let
to
me
say
put it
that?
this way. Let me put it this way. There is a bus, right? And I'm saying this is not the best way of transport. You're saying the bus is still making progress. I'm saying the tires are gone, the windows don't have panes, the roof has a hole in it, and the seats are, very uncomfortable to sit in. You're saying we can say that the bus is still taking us in a direction and the bus is moving us on the road. Maybe it is. But can we at least both of us agree that the bus is not perfect and the bus needs serious repairs, and that the bus may very well be creating more problems for the people who are going somewhere? Maybe if they just got out and walked, they will be in better health than they are in the bus.
Yeah, and the same argument could be said in the sense that the development of the bus itself was led by companies, which developed that. So in the
Again, no, no,
absence
the
of
bus
that,
metaphor is not about companies. The bus metaphor is simply about the bus itself is capitalism.
yeah, yeah. I mean, my point is, there are many tools that developed because of that, because of that competitive environment, because of the funds available, and all of the, the entire infrastructure and entire system
But
ecosystem.
hold on, like this thing that the infrastructure and the funds being provided for the innovation that you say is happening at capitalist organizations, isn't that heavily funded by public money?
Many of them are, yes, many
Yeah.
of them is.
So that also is a factor to be taken into consideration, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
but
not like the billionaire is putting all the money from his personal pocket, which again is not from his pocket, into innovation with the pure intention of progressing society.
yeah, I mean, intention here is not the case. Intention here is not something that we're measuring. We're only
Hmm.
measuring the outcome, right? And the
So
outcome is
ठीक है,
that
don't look at the intention. I'm saying the money that is going into the actual innovation is still a lot of public funding, isn't it? Governments are giving what's it called? Bailout? Yeah, bailout.
mm, not
Ba-
bailout.
oh, What's the
Bailout is
phrase?
some. I think bailout is something that the government
It happens when it crashes. Yeah, I know, but what is the actual phrase? Something. Governments
research
are
funding.
providing governments are providing funding to companies to work on certain things. So the innovation, the actual innovation, I think a whole lot of credit that capitalism gets is for packaging only.
And by the way, I would also say that itself is innovation. I don't know why you don't consider that, but
What
selling,
packaging?
yeah, packaging a product and
I suppose so. Yeah, sure. No, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think packaging is an art, and that if people are selling things well, then that's an art in itself.
right.
But what are they selling? Who are they selling to? And for how much are questions that we can't ignore very easily. Anyway, this was your second point. What was the third one that you disagree with?
Okay, so the third point was about reservation.
Hmm.
Um, I wanted to know if you happen to know of any resources that talk about the state of effectiveness of the current reservation policy. Because I feel like I did a few searches on Google Scholar and other places, and I
I
found that
don't know of any. My knowledge comes from following a lot of Dalit scholars on Twitter and social media, and following their works and listening to their talks, etc. I believe there is a conversation by Yogendra Yadav some years ago. If you just search YouTube for Yogendra Yadav on reservation, you should find that video. And in addition to that, if you want, I can recommend people on Twitter to follow.
yeah, I was okay. I was looking at something like the Human Development Ministry or whatever, some ministerial work about the effectiveness of reservation, because it's such a controversial policy. At least when I talk to many people and they ask, they don't support caste-based reservation. And I
Mostly upper
wanted,
caste people. Upper caste people don't support caste-based reservation.
yeah. So, is there a way to refute their points by showing actual evidence? And I'm not talking about anecdotal evidence. I'm talking about numbers, hard numbers. Because it's such a
Well,
big
our
policy.
government prevents hard numbers from coming out. There has been a caste census has been proposed for a number of years, but our government is steadily running away from it and preventing it from happening because of, I think, electoral reasons. But if Nitish Kumar from Bihar and Lalu Prasad from Bihar have their way, it might happen pretty soon. And when it happens, we will have data. We will have data about not only how many people from any caste are there, we might even have data about how effective reservation has been for people. And I do think it has been.
Yeah, I was very surprised to know that we don't have that in the census because it's such a big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Major policies are made, reservation is made because of on that policy, and the
I
government
think
has
what will
no clue.
happen if the caste-based census does happen and the data comes out, the first thing to happen will be that the illusion that Hindus are a majority of this country will be destroyed. That is why they don't want it.
Yeah, and there has been a smaller caste census. I think that was conducted in 2011.
Hmm.
I was looking at that, but yeah, not. I don't think that's integrated with the normal census.
Okay.
So
But
yeah,
thank you, Rajat. I have to get to Yusuf now.
sorry.
It's 1
It
hour
was great
24 minutes.
conversing with you. Sorry.
No, thank you. This was a nice conversation. Please do come back
I'll
the next
definitely.
time I have
Yeah.
callers are
Thanks.
open. Cool.
Yeah. Bye.
Chalo. Bye bye. And lastly, but not leastly, I have Yusuf. Hi, Yusuf. And thank you for waiting so long.
No, not an issue, not an issue. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Yeah, a little out of order. But last week has been a little tough. My brother got diagnosed with dengue, and right now also I'm sitting in hospital only. So
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah. What's up? How is he doing now?
yeah, he's doing well now because the past 5 days he was in ICU, and right now we are in private ward. He's on the patient bed. I'm on the attendant seat, so pretty well
Okay.
as compared to the last week. Yeah.
Good to know that.
Just wanted to. I'll not take a lot of time. It is 10:55 already, so I'll try to wrap up shortly. So just wanted to have a discussion regarding a story about capitalism and capitalism versus socialism, communism. I have been reading ever since I understood these concepts, and just wanted to know your opinion and how to counter that argument, because I have not been able to. Okay, so
What is that?
yes, once inside a classroom, few students asked the professor that isn't socialism and communism a better model as compared to the
Can you,
capitalism?
Yusuf, can you put your phone a little away from you because the volume is quite loud?
Okay,
Yeah,
is it any
and
better?
speak normally.
Okay, I'll lower my pitch and volume. Is it
Yes.
better now?
Yeah.
Okay. So when the students asked the professor that isn't socialism and communism better model as compared to capitalism, the professor says, okay, so we'll have a small experiment. And in the coming weeks and coming months, I won't be grading you individually. Rather, we'll follow the model of socialism and communism, and you will be awarded average marks basis on classes' average performance.
Hmm.
And the experiment starts for the initial few weeks. The start class performs well, and they are happy with their marks. But as the weeks and the months progress, the average marks start dropping because the performing students do not find any motivation to perform in lack of individual recognition, individual appreciation. And after few months, the overall performance of the class deteriorates to a very low extent, and
Did this
that's when
actually happen or is this a story?
hypothetical story.
Yeah, so I don't think I think this is nonsense. I don't think this will happen. If I was in a classroom and I was the best performing student, I will probably be the best performing student because I love the subject. And my love of the subject is not going to go away because I did not get marks. So this is a capitalist myth, by the way. The myth is that people function because they want to get, they want to win in a competition. I think competition is overrated. You can have competition in some respects, but for the most part, people are going to do good no matter no matter if the competition does not happen. And by the way, a classroom where people are not rated in that way is actually a great classroom because the children who are in the middle don't feel like they're at the back of the class because everyone feels like they're part of something and they are actually engaging with the subject without fear. हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम का सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है ये है कि लोग साइंस इसलिए नहीं पढ़ते हैं क्योंकि होल्ड ऑन यूसुफ आई जस्ट म्यूट यू फॉर सम टाइम बिकॉज़ योर एको इज कमिंग बैक। सो हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम का एक बड़ा प्रॉब्लम ये है कि लोग साइंस पढ़ते हैं पर साइंस को जानने के लिए नहीं पढ़ते हैं। वो इसलिए पढ़ते हैं ताकि उनको एक सर्टिफिकेट मिले और एक नौकरी मिल जाए। इसीलिए हम देयर आर ट्रेन्ड पीपल इन एक्चुअल प्रोफेशंस हू डोंट नो जैक शिट। There are people who come out of extremely well-known universities who don't know their subject as well. Our education system is suffering because of competition. In fact, competition is not a way to make things better. In fact, if this classroom, this hypothetical story that you're talking about, if this were to actually happen, I am pretty sure I would happily join it. And I'm pretty sure बहुत सारे बच्चे ऐसे होंगे whose school lives will improve because of it. I'm unmuting you now. Yeah.
Okay, then I'll think of a counter argument and I'll join you live maybe sometime later. No?
Cool. Thank you,
You may.
Yusuf. And sorry?
Yeah, you can continue.
No, that's it. मुझे और कुछ नहीं बोला था.
Okay.
Cool. I wish your brother the best of health, and I hope you guys can go home soon.
Thank you.
Chalo. Bye. This is the first time someone joined from a hospital, by the way. It's unnerving. I find hospitals very unnerving because of, obvious reasons. I am deeply sorry that I could not read anyone's comments today, but आज बहुत लोग आए थे, which is good. बहुत से लोग आए थे. And I will remind everyone that this live stream happens on Wednesdays at 9:30 and Saturdays at 9:30. Today was obviously Saturday. Wait, मैं music भूल गया क्योंकि खत्म होने वाला है. Today was Saturday and I hope that you guys will join me on Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. again. If you want to support this channel, I would really like it if you became a member of this channel by clicking the join button below. And of course, you can send a super chat. If you want to support me on Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/Vimo. You can make a monthly or annual pledge. If you don't want to get into the monthly and annual schemes, you can simply go to my blog at vimo.stck.me and make a one-time contribution. वहाँ कोई monthly annual झमेला नहीं है. Just support button पे click करो. UPI या किसी भी दूसरे मेथड से जो भी अमाउंट आपको अच्छा लगता है आप पे कर सकते हो. If you can't pay or don't want to pay, that's perfectly fine. This content is always going to remain free. This contribution is just a way for you to support my work. I'm a full-time content creator, and whatever contributions you make help me buy books, buy software, and pay my bills and eat food and survive and all that. So thank you. By the way, if you want to listen to audio episodes of this show, you can do so at www.vimo.in. And that's where all the audio episodes are. There are also links to all the apps where the podcast is available. So you can find all of that at www.vimo.in. That's vimoh.in. And lastly, but not the leastly, and I keep forgetting this, if you want to buy merch like t-shirt, mugs, and hoodies, you can do so at kadakmerch.com/vimolive. KADAKMERCH. kadakmerch.com/vimolive. VIMOHLIVE. And there are t-shirts, like there's one t-shirt for atheists called Sabka Malik Fake Hai, and there's a t-shirt called Words Are Weapons, and very recently I added a t-shirt called Woke Sabha is in Session, because you guys love that headline. So check out kadakmerch.com/vimolive in order to find those things and maybe buy them. I am done talking. I'm drained. Overall, I want to just say that it was a good decision to move this podcast from daily to twice a week, because this seems more, I have more energy and I can talk more, and it's good. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining. I will see you next on Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Until then, I hope you have a great week ahead, a great few days ahead, because it's not going to be a week. And please take care of yourselves. Good night.